Dirt roads to rock crawling, two-buck chuck to screaming eagle, moonshine to 50-year-old single malt. We talk about it all here on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey with your hosts, Jason and Chris.
Welcome to the Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey podcast, episode 190 in studio Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. Chris, are you there?
I'm here, man. I am here, loud and clear.
We are recording remote tonight. I am back in San Jose reluctantly from Tahoe. You are in Studio L, Livermore. And, we were going to record in person tonight. What the hell happened?
Well, apparently one of my children tested positive for COVID, and he hung out with us on Sunday. And he is symptomatic, and we had dinner. He helped prepare dinner. And so because I know you're heading out of town again, to be, transparent and a great friend, I decided to pull the ripcord and stay in Livermore and prevent you from potentially getting sick on your trip.
I appreciate that, but I was at the Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock comedy show last night at Golden One Center in Sacramento with 20,000 of my closest friends. So I'm pretty sure if I was going to get COVID, it would have been in last night. But
I didn't want to be the one because I have a confirmed contact with somebody. So
that's fine. So I hate, just to make it clear, I hate recording this way, but
I know you do.
What it is.
And, there's always technical challenges, but, this is always good practice for us because at some point you are going to move far away. You've made that quite clear. And I'm not driving to Nevada every week. So
I've already moved mentally. Anyways, so we've got a little housekeeping to do. I've got a couple stories to share, and then we're going to get into some KOH shit. So
we got some special guests.
Yeah, we do, that are waiting patiently by. Hopefully they don't get drunk drinking here while we're getting through our business here.
Well, I'm not getting drunk. I'm just drinking water. So.
Oh, okay. Out of your TAC 1 Fab Cup. Nice.
You like that?
Chris money. That's very nice. I was up in Tahoe, and epic storm. Tahoe is unique because it gets hammered, and then it'll go bluebird days for 14 days and then get another beating of snow. It's not champagne powder of Colorado, but, we call it Sierra Cement. But I'll tell you, this was it started out Sierra Cement, and then it went super light. And we got 4 feet of snow up in Tahoe Donner, and incredible. Fun times. Got to go out to dinner with Eric Wicks. You heard of him, right? Finished 10th last year at KOH. So we went out to dinner on Saturday night in a full blown blizzard. And it was so much fun. Eric's such a great guy, and he is so hell bent on winning King of the Hammers this year. I mean, everybody wants to win,
of course.
His determination and fire is just extra high right now, and I love it. We're obviously going to talk to them before the race, but the Wicks are out for blood this year at KOH. So,
well, that's excellent to hear.
Good stuff. And I will tell you, his snow wheeling is up to speed. We were, this was Mexico where it was snowing, but we were getting sideways and stuff on the streets to the restaurant and back. But we helped out an Asian family that was stuck on the side of the road. There it was. Yes. It was in a Jeep, but it sounded kind of like that, actually. So,
you boys like Mexico?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know it snowed that much in Mexico, but it was great. So then, on my way home last night, we hit Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle show in Sacramento. Holy fuck, Batman! What a funny show. I went.
That was rated G, right?
It was rated G. It was total like Disney on Ice. Super, super great. Dave Code of Code Nelson invited me to this show, and we had an absolute ball. And I just, it was, I mean, they are so, you know how Chappelle and Rock are. I mean, they talked about, it was so good because they both talked about their incidents in LA with Will Smith slapping freaking Chris. Yeah. And then Chappelle getting tackled on stage and then his staff beating the shit out of this guy behind him while he was going on with the show. So they're like, yeah, we're going to tour entire California except LA. Fuck LA. And it was hilarious. And the people, I always love these shows because the talent, the up-and-coming talent that's opening acts. There was a 63-year-old lady that came on stage first. Freaking hilarious. Just brought down the house. And then this white guy came on. He goes, yeah, I'm white. All right, let's go. Totally improv on the audience for 20 minutes. Super cool. And then Chris, Black Star came on, the musical group, and they performed for like 20 minutes. And then it was Chris Rock and Chappelle, and just shut the show down. It was so freaking good.
Where was it at?
It was at the Golden One Center in Sacramento. There, Sack and Tomatoes, where the Kings play.
Right.
So. Yeah, it was good. And then Dave ditched me after the show. And, so this is the crazy thing.
Dave ditched you.
Yeah, he totally ditched me. I luckily, my spidey instincts kicked in, and I knew where we parked. I had to figure it out, but I learned where we parked. But anyways, so many stories here. So one is the phones. You cannot record during the show. So this is a Chris Rock thing, I guess, is what I'm learning. So they have these neoprene bags that they put your phones in that are like magnetically locked. So they give the phone back to you in this bag during the show. So there's no way you could answer your phone or take video or photos or anything, right?
Wow.
If you get a phone call and you want to take it, you have to go outside the venue. They'll open your phone up, give it back to you. You can make your call, whatever, and then put it back in the bag to go back to your seat. So, it was pretty cool because I can't remember the last time I've been to an event where I didn't have a phone. And, you're like compelled to video or, especially if you're on IG and stuff, right? Or Facebook and you want such and such concert. Oh, I'm seeing Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock. Okay, great.
So you don't go to strip clubs very often then?
No. Why? Did they take your phone there too, Chris?
Apparently, you're not allowed to bring them in. Yeah.
Oh, really? I did not know that, Chris.
This is over a decade ago. I went to a bachelor party and we were in LA and we were like, they're all, hey, let's go to the strip club, and I'm like, I don't know, whatever. And the guy's like, where are your phones? And he wouldn't let us in. We had to go take the phones back to the car.
No way. Interesting. Yeah. So it was good to be off the grid per se. And just enjoy the moment and enjoy the comedy and stuff. It was pretty freaking cool, actually. So
that's cool.
Yeah, Dave was getting phone calls left and right as his pouch was vibrating, and he goes, "I don't know who it is. I can't. So, anyways, pretty good.
He's a popular guy, So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Lawyers, they're getting calls left and right. So. I said, hey, Dave hooked us up with the tickets and stuff, and I go, let's have a Jack and Coke. So go to the bar there. How much do you think? And I go, hey, let's double that up because regular shot and 3/4 Coke is not even worth the while. So I go, let's get to 2 doubles Jack and Cokes. How much do you think that was, Chris?
Well, I gotta go high. I'm gonna go $24 each.
Oh, you're way low.
30?
Keep going.
No, come on, doubles like 40 bucks.
Oh, keep going.
Fuck you. 50?
No, well, for 2 double Jack and Cokes and a water, because you're trying to stay hydrated. $76.
2 double Jack and Cokes.
Yeah.
Was it Gentleman Jack?
No. No, just regular Jack. Regular Jack. And water that was served in a nice King's aluminum can, like a Coors Light water can.
Wow. But you paid more than that for a Jack and Coke when you were in
only
Europe,
time,
right?
and that was exactly what I brought up last night to Dave. The most expensive Jack and Coke I ever had was in Frankfurt, like in Germany, when we were coming back from our trip. And we just wanted a Jack and Coke. You know, we'd been drinking all this great wine and everything in Europe and enjoying the schnapps and all that stuff in Europe. And then
Schnapps.
We're at the airport in Frankfurt, staying at this hotel, and we'll have 2 Jack and Cokes, and it was just off the charts expensive because it's an import.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Jack is good, but not as good as the whiskey that we drink now. So, anyways,
not really.
Yeah, $76 for 2 double Jack and Cokes and a drink of water. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me right now?
Hashtag Jason money, man.
No, it wasn't. That's hashtag credit card money is right. That is right there.
There you go.
Anyways,
Living
great
large.
show. It was super fun. So glad I got to see them live because, you know, who knows what the future holds. And Chappelle disappeared for 10 years and stuff in Africa and then came back. So super, super fun and cool to see him live. So anyways, so I'm back for a couple days.
In the saddle again.
So
I know I had to do some ad lib stuff while you were gone.
So we had planned, and we always interview a bunch of people around the Ultra 4 circuit, and so we're looking at the calendar here, and I said, Chris, I'm heading up to Truckee. I said, there is a gentleman up in Truckee that we need to interview. And so I DM'd him, and he's like, yeah, dude, totally. Yeah, I'd be honored. Let's do this. It was Jason Berger, you know, the right seat of Jason Scheer and 3-time King, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's a great history. And I knew, saw Scheer, holding up Jason's rock buggy at Donner, Summit there at Donner Ski Ranch.
Berger holding up Jason.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, let's make this happen. Well, the big ass snowstorm and everything going on, it did not happen. So, but it will happen in January. We are making this happen in January. So Berger's coming on the show in January. Just a little FYI here. But anyway, so I said, hey, let's record, Tuesday night, and here we are, and we're doing remote. So we're making it happen. You did a quick little 12, 15 minute solo deal. So that was pretty good. I was impressed.
Well, I tried, you
didn't even have Lorenzo there hitting the buttons or anything. You were full solo.
I had to do everything. I had to do the research. I had to push the buttons. I had to slide the controls and everything, man. I was like, holy shit. Even take notes.
Now you know what it feels like when I go on these 4-wheel drive runs interviewing people by myself. So there you go.
Yeah, Lorenzo's helping you, though. He's usually half in the bag, though.
So, anyways, what are you drinking there? Water out of your?
I am drinking water.
That's nice.
I did drink a glass and a half of wine last night. I've opened a bottle of wine a couple nights ago, and I had to finish it. You can't leave them open for very long, and so I finished it up. But what do you? Oh, is that the Blanton's horse I see?
Hey, some Blanton's horse is riding across the street. Our special guest coming up here shortly. So
He's
that's pretty good.
Getting anxious.
I'm drinking some Knob Creek Rye. It's a single barrel. From Death and Taxes in Reno, Nevada, 115 proof, and so
that'll light your fire.
Yeah, it's good. I was there a few weeks ago, and they have quite the bourbon selection, and it's like it's super dark in there, and they do all these craft cocktails, with edible flowers and shit in there, and I'm like, just give, and I know they got a great whiskey selection. That's why I went there with my cousin. And I'm like, okay.
Is that downtown?
It's near, just on the outskirts of downtown.
Uh-huh.
Not right next to the casinos, but a couple blocks over. And so I go, hey, I'm a big whiskey guy. Give me something unique. I don't need any flowers or shit in my drink. I just want a pure whiskey on a rock. What do you got? And
Give me a poisonous orchid. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a huge whiskey list. And I'm like, okay, narrow it down. Give me a rye, And so, hey, we got this single barrel Knob Creek rye. And I'm like, okay, boom, hit it. And man, it is really, really good. So so you go into the speakeasy in the back, you open up this secret door, and they have bottles for sale. So I bought one of their bottles of Knob Creek single barrel rye. So that's what I am enjoying tonight.
And what's the price point on something like that?
It was like $45. I mean, it's totally reasonable. Yeah. Knob Creek's good. Very, very in the wheelhouse, and I've had some other single barrels of their bourbon, and very good. So
I've got at least one Knob Creek on the shelf over here.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, there you go. So
I might have to go get a tumbler. I don't know.
A tumbler. One thing. So our last episode together before you did the solo thing.
Yeah.
Before you went out on your own. We did
the Christmas tour.
Yeah, we did the Christmas gift guide.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been getting a ton of comments on that. That's been great. Some fun stuff. But one of the things I will give a shout out to Jimmy at Snail Trail.
Uh-huh.
He talked about Shady Rays, the sunglasses for like $25, and they got like free replacement, twice or whatever, if you scratch them or lose them or anything like that. So I listened to their podcast and I went online and I ended up getting 4 pairs of polarized sunglasses for right around $100. So
wow.
$25 a piece. Yeah, unbelievable. Okay. And I got them the other day in the mail and I'm like, dude, these things are legit because I needed some wheeling glasses, right? Because you don't want to bring your $100 sunglasses out wheeling in the dust and dirt and all that stuff.
Well, guaranteed, if I buy a nice pair of sunglasses, I'm going to lose them or break them. So
that's one thing. I don't lose sunglasses, but they do get scratched and stuff. I mean, they get used. And Jimmy's like, dude, just you just tell them it's scratched or lost or whatever, and they send you another pair. You don't even have to send the old pair back. So. I've got a pair for the buggy now, a pair for the Jeep that's just going to live in there. So I will always have sunglasses.
Great.
Dialing. Thank you, Jimmy from Snail Trail. Not Tyler. Jimmy from Snail Trail.
To hell with Tyler. I do have an update from that episode too. I know we were talking about Thanksgiving and whatnot, and what were we drinking and whatever during Thanksgiving dinner. And I heard from my niece Ashley texted me the name of the vineyard or the winery that we were drinking the wine from, and that was Big Basin Vineyards.
Big Basin,
which I believe is up in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
Yeah, I was going to say Santa Cruz Mountains, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So shout out to Big Basin Vineyards, good juice, and thank you, Ashley, for giving me that information.
There's some great wines up there. That's a little hidden, gem of the wine community, right? So my buddy Matt, his winery's in the Santa Cruz Mountain appellation, and it's just, it's not Napa, it's not Sonoma, it doesn't have that, big name, but there's some incredible juice coming out of the Santa Cruz Mountains that rivals that stuff, and I definitely, anybody that's into wine, make a trip out to the Santa Cruz Mountains. That you will be pleasantly surprised, and you will be surprised that tasting fees are either non-existent or $5, $10, $15. It's not crazy expensive like some of this stuff. So, yeah.
No, and you and I and a few of our other friends made a wine tasting trip up in the Santa Cruz region. God, must be going on 10 or 12 or 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I think we're
exactly.
long overdue for doing that again.
We need to do that.
I think we had a passport that we were doing that with.
We did. It was passport weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I might have had that sitting here in my office, but I'm not going to tear it apart.
I don't think that passport's good anymore.
Probably not. So, anyway.
Well, what else you got before we get to our special guests here that are patiently waiting for us here?
Well, they're just getting hammered. I think one of our guests just passed out. So.
Oh, okay. Lorenzo?
Yeah. Let's see. We do have a review.
Oh, yeah. Read that review. That's a good review.
So it looks like we have 2 new reviews.
Oh, 2? Wow.
Yeah. We didn't read the earbud wheeling one, did we?
No.
Okay. So we got 2 new reviews. One of them, okay. So the first one posted on December 3rd from J Dizzle Farizzle.
J Dizzle Farizzle.
Yeah. Via Apple Podcasts. So he's bought my first bottle of Old Elk after listening to these guys, and all the wheeling talk has me working on my rig more frequently these days, so I can hopefully drag it out west and bang that Toyota limiter all over all around camp.
Wow.
One beef, though, just finished up the November 29th episode, no giveaway. What gives? Well, we were a little late. Sorry about that, J Dizzle Farizzle.
J Dizzle Frizzle. Yeah, no, hey, thanks for calling us out, because we rarely, make mistakes here on this podcast. We're very truthful, honest, factual information. But unfortunately, so we recorded with Dolly and Amber.
Correct.
And then we had like 3 podcasts in the can because of everything that was going on in our lives. So we were supposed to, we were planning on just recording a podcast and announcing the winner. Well, we ended up using the Dolly and Amber episode for that 29th. So we recorded one after. So sorry, but that's the life of podcasting here. And
sometimes we time travel.
But thanks for the review. It was a 5-star review, though, right?
Hell yeah, that's absolutely.
Right. So it called us out. I got respect for that. That's cool.
Heck yeah, we'll step up.
All right, what else you got?
So we got another 5-star review from this was posted on December 8th from Tax It Up. Oh, you like that one? Tax It Up.
Tax It Up.
5-star. Huh?
Was that from Newsom?
Yeah, probably. And this anyway, it's titled "No Annoying Voices," so no Tyler, I guess.
Oh, wow! Throwing that dig in, nice.
So just found this podcast a month ago. Been catching up on the episodes. Lots of good humor, topics, and info. Plus no annoying voices like some of the other podcasts. Oh shit! There you go. Boom! Throwing it down.
That was it?
Jason's speechless. That's it. Yeah.
It is. So that's good. I like it. That's good.
So those are our 2 newest reviews.
Okay.
And that's it. So I don't know if we have any other business.
I got a voicemail, and then we're going to get to our special guest here.
All right. Let's make it happen.
So let me see if I can play this. I have no idea. I haven't even listened to this. We'll see how this goes. I don't know.
Hey, this is Wayne. Met you at the safety clinic and just got through listening to you guys and Dolly talking. She mentioned me in the podcast, and I'm going like, whoa! I got like 30 seconds worth of fame. Anyway, just calling to check in with you guys, enjoy your show, and be seeing you out at Hammertown. And told Dolly, I said, I'm going to bring a Starlink and have it set up for people to use out there. Anyway, that's all. Got any questions? Give me a call back, 209.
Whoa.
We don't want to give out people's phone numbers.
Have a good day.
All right, you'll have to edit that out. Did you get that?
I did, yeah.
Wayne, that's pretty cool.
It is cool.
You know,
right on.
When I listen to, it's funny, other podcasts, and they would mention, something about us or whatever, and it was like, oh, that's cool. So it's always fun. So that's why I try and include people that I run into and on trails and stuff, and try and put their names down in my notepad on the phone, so I remember to call out people, and it's just fun to hear your name on the radio when you're on your way to work, listening to a podcast. So right on, Wayne. Well, thanks for calling in. That's freaking cool. We'll see you at KOH. Holy smokes, this is a good segue. It's coming up 50 days away. When this podcast comes out, it's going to be less than 50 days away. It's going to be like 45 days away.
I'm just looking at whole weeks right now. We're about 6 weeks out. It'll be 5 weeks out when this drops. I mean, so when you start looking at just by weeks, it gets really scary.
Is that giving you any anxiety, Chris? Because we're not even racing, and I'm like, oh my God, I got so much to pack and stuff for camp, and we don't even have a car. We don't have a dog in this race, and I've got anxiety right now. But can you imagine if you were like trying to prep a race car and race KOH? I'm just going to show up
with 4 gallons of bottom of the shelf bourbon and some cola, liter of cola. So did you know there is a pool going around and over under right now if you're going to be there or not for the whole week? Did you know that? I'll be there.
Okay, well, I know. You've said that at other events, but and you've been there in the past at KOH, so...
What the fuck, man? I've only missed one KOH in the last 10 years. Really?
People... the last time you went wheeling was on Turkey Claw, and that was, almost a year ago. So we're just saying... We're just as the people have spoken, so just letting you know.
Whatever.
So, hey, talking about KOH 2023, let's introduce our guest, our special guest this afternoon, evening. First time KOH participant from MDM Motorsports, racing in the former baby Jeep. Megan Miller. How you doing, Megan? Oh, we got the applause and everything. Lorenzo's on point tonight. Welcome to the podcast, Megan.
If I didn't get the applause in the introduction, I was going to ask Chris if I could say my name, and then he would bring in the applause.
Well, there you go. Hey, we're professionals here at Wheeling Wine and Whiskey, so this is no fly-by-night podcast. 190 episodes in. Yeah. And then your husband is joining us tonight, a former racer like Kevin Jones, D-Mill with a welder. How you doing, Derek?
I'm working my way through some Blantons. I'm okay.
There you go. So
that glass keeps getting
refilled. Gets a cackle instead of applause. Is that how that goes?
Right. So for the last 25 minutes, you've heard us babbling, and then the Blanton's horse just kind of raced across the screen on. We've got Riverside. Yeah. So I love
my rev limiter doesn't sound like that anymore, Chris.
No, it doesn't. Yours is a legit V8. Turbocharged with a Wu-Tang whistle. What do we call that?
Wu-Tang war whistle.
Wu-Tang war whistle. Yeah.
Or a Wuhan war whistle, I guess. If you want
Wuhan. Yeah, you call it a Wuhan war whistle now. Come on. Anyways, well, hey guys, welcome to the podcast, and we said, hey, we're going to interview a variety of people here before, during, and after KOH, and you guys were on our list. Derek's been on the podcast before. Yep. Megan's been on the podcast before, and we're like, hey, we gotta learn about Megan's journey here. You were wrenching on the Jeep there and welding and stuff. So let's talk about getting ready here for KOH 2023. Megan, what's your thoughts? What's going through your mind here with less than 50 days before you hit that start line and going out and doing the world's toughest one-day off-road race?
I think there's two sides to getting ready for KOH. There's getting the car ready, and then getting yourself mentally prepared to race.
For sure.
The toughest one-day off-road race in the world. I mean, I'm super new to racing, so I feel like I just, dove right in to the deep end here. Haven't even had the car a year, and I'm already taking it to hammers. So it took me a couple months to really wrap my head around what it was going to require from me physically and mentally to race that race. I think that was one of the biggest challenges internally. Racing short course was super fun, but you're in the car, you're out of the car. It happens really fast. And, I'm just thinking, can I endure 10 hours of this? Can I endure 10 hours of racing? And, the ups and downs of the adrenaline and not giving up mentally, through the challenges of that race. So I think that was like one of my big preparations personally, was working through that and talking to other racers about their mindset and their strategy. Because I think if you don't go into King of the Hammers with a mental strategy, I think you've set yourself up for failure off the bat.
No doubt.
I've had the benefit of, that maybe not all rookies this year have had, or just rookies in general, to King of the Hammers, is having been there as race support for Derek for the past couple of years and seeing what he had to deal with going into that race, like the first year, and then how it evolved into the second year. And so having the benefit of learning a lot of lessons from that experience of us going through that together and seeing what he had to deal with. But then, having been immersed in sort of the race world a little bit more than we were prior to him racing has helped a lot. Meeting a lot of racers, and they're not kidding when they talk about Ultra 4 really being a community. I mean, I've had so much support from other racers, just sharing, tips and, their strategies with me. And then this year, I really got to give it to Dave Cole, because, I mean, he kind of gets a bad rap. He doesn't have the best delivery all the time, but, he really put on a program this year for the rookies, and had people come in and meet at the ranch, and they put it on a Zoom so that those of us that couldn't be there got to listen to, like, Jason Shearer talk about, the mentality behind racing King of the Hammers, and then Lauren Healy came in and really talked about how he marketed his
the
team.
Social media.
Yeah, and people just really, the professionals came in and really kind of laid out their journey through this and the things that they've learned through that. And I think, to me, the biggest downside of them doing that is that it wasn't shared with everybody, because I can't imagine a racer alive that races this race that wouldn't benefit from hearing this input from each other. But I feel fortunate enough that I get to race the first year that they started this rookie program. And so coming into it with the little experience that I had from Derek's experience, and then getting, all this feedback from all these racers in a personal and, professional setting, has been hugely beneficial. So, I've come a long way in the last couple months since you guys did a podcast a few months ago saying, is she going to race? Is she not going to race?
Yeah. So, I mean, this is super cool because, you obviously this is your first Ultra 4 King of the Hammers, event, but you have seen your husband, Derek, race, and so you got an idea of what you're coming into. You're not coming into this totally blind. You kicked ass in the short course series at Prairie City, which is the course literally right around the corner from your house. Mm-hmm. So you got, you got seat time. You got to see what King of the Hammers is about. So pretty cool perspective that you have. Different than some of the total 100% rookies that have never seen Johnson Valley, have never raced per se their vehicle that they're building. I mean, there's a handful or 20 some odd I don't know what the number is, people that haven't even raced the vehicle that they're building right now out in Johnson Valley that they have no idea what they're getting into. And then, carry it into what you said about this rookie program that I think is outstanding. Dave being the, whatever. Everybody has an opinion about Dave, but I mean, he's smart. He deserves more credit than he gets, I think, for some people of, this rookie program this year, I think is stupid good. To, having that insight from all these quote unquote professionals that showed up to give their firsthand experience and then have it on a Zoom based or web based deals. So the people that couldn't be there in Johnson Valley experience this and go, hey, these are some of the things that you're going to, find and run across and the obstacles that you need to figure out how to get around. And I mean, how cool is that for our sport and to see KOH grow to this where this is our future, right? How many people, do you know the number? How many rookies are, it's 40 some odd rookies or something this year that went into this program?
I don't know the number, but I there's quite a few of them because they started like a Facebook group of all these rookies, and it's just like constantly filled with questions.
Yeah, and
there's a ton of people on it.
I think the one good thing they did is they put they made access to the rookies that weren't at the ranch that weekend. They put it in like a shared Google Drive,
right?
And so I've been able to watch those videos because Megan had access to it. So somewhere out there, even though they're not necessarily advertising that anyone can see it, there's definitely access to anyone who's interested. If they do some digging or find a rookie to ask for the link to, they can see and get that information and get that same tutelage. You know what I mean, if you will. So it's not just for the rookies. I think anyone who's eager enough to go after that information can find someone that will give them that link and see that stuff. And
I mean, I've been sending it out to anybody I know. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to, but I've been sharing it with all the racers I know.
It is cool.
Yeah, no, it's super helpful. And I think the word you were looking for with Dave, it may be lofty, but a visionary. And I think more poignant than a visionary is like he's an idea guy, and he'll have an idea, and he'll just like implement it. Whether or not it's a good idea or fully thought out or how it's going to work, it's going to evolve. And I think we're seeing that with like the T-shirt thing and the Choose Your Driver thing.
Yes.
Like, amazing idea, amazing to show support. But I think it's going to evolve. I don't think it'll go away. I'd like to see that program stay, but I think it will evolve. You know what I mean? Like the rest of KOH has evolved to be something really good and positive for the drivers.
Yeah, and very well said. Visionary is a great word for Dave. I mean, he just, surrounded by, I learned at a young age, if you want to succeed, surround yourself by successful people and stuff, right? And some of my people have been questionable over the years, but whatever. We've had some very successful people. No, it's been great. But Dave just throws it out there. He goes, "Hey, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but I've got a lot of people that are pretty smart and have some great ideas, and we're gonna just roll with it." And I mean, to see how much, I think this year is a monumental year for KOH with this rookie program and everything else that came online. And the T-shirt sales and the, hey, pick your favorite driver and throw some money back to these, teams, because let's face it, it costs a ton of money to get to the lakebed, to put your car on the start line, regardless of what class you're in. And this is helping things out. And I like the direction that this is headed. So very cool. All right, so Megan, with all this, experience of the short course at Prairie City, and then being at KOH with your husband Derek there, and with him racing and everything, we're coming up on less than 50 days of the big race. Where you at? mentally, physically? I know you've been wrenching on the car with Derek, and so give us an update of what's going on with your race program.
Yeah, so I'm lucky I have Derek because he knows more about race cars than anyone else I know. So yeah, he's been busy tearing it apart. I mean, you buy a race car and you think, oh, cool, I bought a race car. I now have a race car. But no, that's not how it works. So you race your race car and then you get to rebuild your race car constantly. So that's awesome.
Right.
You buy a race car and then you spend the exact same amount of money on it as you race it is kind of what I've learned from this. And I think I didn't know this, even though I've had a race car in the home for a while, because Derek and I don't share those details with each other because we like to be happily married. So I didn't realize how much race cars cost until I owned my own race car.
Yeah.
So we're basically, had a proven car and I broke some stuff. We replaced some stuff. And now, it really comes down to what wear is left on the car, because you can't go into Hammers with, a seal that leaks. You can't go into Hammers with anything that isn't, anything. You don't want anything to be less than ideal, because if you see something that's a potential problem, it's a problem. Is what I've learned so far.
It will show up during the race at KOH. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, you got to do your due diligence.
That's the age old. You don't show up to KOH, with your credit cards melting with like used bolts. Like you put new bolts in the car, right? Like bolts aren't that expensive. Put new ones in. So that's the kind of stuff we're working through.
Sure. And it's interesting. I mean, the KOA, we talk about it before on this podcast. A stupid 10-cent part can take you out of the race. And it's like, you're trying to mitigate all that pre-race and what is stressed on the car. Let's replace it. Let's magnaflux parts to see if there's any crazy little micro cracks that we can't see with the physical eye. But it's like, all this comes with a cost and time and everything else. And we got day jobs, and this is not our, this is supposed to be a fun recreational thing, but yet you want to be competitive at the same time. And that's the line that we try and, traverse. And it's like, okay, I've got this race car, we're going through it. But you just don't know until race day what's going to happen and if all the cards fall into place. But, so one thing I want to say here is I love the female drivers going out there and racing. I mean, you, Amber, all this stuff, just, making a charge out there, and it's refreshing. It's fun. To see you gals just going out there and kicking ass. So, from that aspect, I mean, do you feel, like, hey, I got to prove something, or just like, I mean, because you've done some cool stuff already early in your race career at Prairie City. You've taken charge on some of these races. And so, where are you at mentally with this whole KOH thing and racing for 8-9 hours out in the desert?
Yeah. So, well, I am lucky to have, my introduction was short course racing at Prairie City, and those races are so high speed, and it's a short course, but it's like, these giant rock gardens and jumps and whoops and like high speed, drifting in the dirt, which, I mean, I've never done that before. So the learning curve was so steep for me. And, from the first race to the second race to the third race, it was like just leaps and bounds trying to learn the car and learn as the driver. And I just, I think the first race, if it showed me anything, it was how little I knew about racing a car. Like, you can wheel a car, you could, rock crawl, and that's awesome. And you learn a lot from that. I applied a lot of that to racing. And I think
Sure.
it really helped, but it did not prepare me 100% for racing a car. It's just a whole different aspect. Things happen so fast. You have to make the decisions a lot faster. You really have to know your car and have trust in your car. And you have to, have things become a little more instinctual as you're driving. And so, it was really fun for me to race short course. It's just like full send. I would come off the course so many times thinking, how is this car still together? Like, it's just you're just beating the car out of it.
Sure.
So it was impressive to me that, I got really lucky getting this car in particular. The car I got, like you said, it was known as the baby Jeep, but before that, Ben Barossa, their shop built that car years ago. This has been a race car for like 10 years at this point. And, Ben Barossa won KOH in that car. So,
I did not know that.
Yes. Yeah. That car has had a first place podium finish at King of the Hammers.
Oh, so there you go.
Pedigree.
Yeah. So it's a proven car. And so in that aspect, I got really lucky kind of being able to start at a point where the car is more capable than I was, and that was really cool for me, especially because like, I'm not Amber. Like I can't work on the car like she can. I have so much admiration for her. She races her Samurai, but she tears that thing apart and rebuilds it and figures stuff out on her own. And I think, she should be due a lot of credit for that, because being a female driver, that's cool and all, but to me, to be a female fabricator, and, that to me is especially challenging and rare. And I'm not sure she gets quite enough credit for that piece of it. Because I bet you for her, racing it is the easy part.
Right. Yeah.
Probably.
I shouldn't speak for her. I don't know. But, I admire that about Amber. When you talk about being a female driver, I really haven't run into like any challenges with being a female driver. If anything, I think maybe it's given me a little bit of a leg up because, it's not common. So it kind of does make me a little bit of an outlier, racing and it does. I think egos get a little hurt when you do well as a female driver.
I love it.
So that part, I don't know how other people feel about it, but I try not to let my feelings get hurt. If things are said, if I do well, I just think, I get it. Nobody wants to lose or not win. So that's okay. It doesn't hurt my feelings as long as I'm the one winning.
So
you're not winning. That's one way to put it, but you are a winner, and that's super cool. So
just to be competing at KOH is a whole, accomplishment in itself, in my opinion, because the dedication it takes to even get a vehicle to the lakebed, to the start line, to the race course, and all that. That's a huge, commitment. It's financial, it's mental, it's everything.
It's time.
There's
time.
There's so many days,
a shit ton of time.
You talk about hammer season.
We ask ourselves, like, why do we do this? Oh yeah, calling it hammer season is real. I think it's a joke amongst racers, but it just really is. Your life gets put on hold. Your finances. I don't think there's enough money in the world to dedicate to this sport. It seems to take every penny that you have and then some. And it is such a huge commitment for us all just to get there, and it's so stressful, and there's so many ups and downs, and the anxiety is so real. Like, are we going to meet the timeline? We have this huge list of things left to do, and you think you start ahead of the curve, and everything just does take so much time. And, I think it's honestly like when you get to the starting line, and I haven't raced hammers yet, but this has been my experience so far, is like, it's almost such a relief just to sit there and wait for the green flag. Cause you're like, okay, I can let it go now. Like, there's nothing else I can do but drive the
What we
car.
were
At this
shooting
point.
for. Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the running joke, right? When it's hammer season, don't call me to go wheeling on Saturday. Don't ask me to go to the bar on Friday. Like I'm busy. Like I am busy from Thanksgiving until we leave for hammers, and like that's just all there is to it. And this is the most as the one doing all the fab work and getting the car ready and prep work. This is the most complete car I have ever worked on. This close to hammers. I have never had a car this complete.
Wow.
So I'm pumped.
Really?
I'm good with it. Yeah. My car didn't start for the first time until I put it on the trailer to load it to go to hammers last year.
That's right.
So yeah, this is the most complete I've had a car this close to hammers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I'm not worried. I think go ahead.
Go ahead.
So what I was going to say is the only thing we've been focusing on with the car, other than, fresh bolts, rebuilding joints, making sure things are good, is improving upon or trying to find areas where we could make this car a little better, which is really tough when, like Megan was saying, this car's been a race car for so long. Like it has all the good parts. But it's like, hey, let's get a better rear axle housing that's a little bit lighter and a little bit stronger in it because we already broke the one that was in it when we got it. So that's like, we're trying to find ways to improve upon. And I'm of the mindset of like, I want to change everything when I get a car. And I'm trying really hard not to change anything because this car works. And that's so hard for me.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
But
I mean, yeah, there's so many different aspects, right? So we kind of alluded to at the beginning. So there's the mechanical side of getting the car ready and doing everything you can to vet out any potential issues, right? And then there's the mental aspect of, the race day. I mean, it's an 8-hour plus car wreck going across the desert. You've experienced Derek in your rig, the Sequoia Beast, and then so you can give a lot of insight to your wife here, but it's like, how do you prepare for that? And then the physical aspect of like, you see these, Jason Shear, Jason Berger doing all this CrossFit crazy shit, to the extreme, to the guys that are drinking beer and hammering down steaks and tacos and all that stuff, and just like, okay, we're going to go race. But there's the mental, the physical, aspect of this race. There's so many different levels. So are you doing anything physically, Megan, or have you been training a little running, or what's going on for the endurance part of this race?
Wait, I want to take this one as a proud husband. I will say, I outkicked my punt coverage. Okay. This one is in the gym Monday through Friday, doing her CrossFit, watching her meals. And then on Saturdays, still eating steaks, pounding tacos and beers. So at the end of the day,
there you go. See?
And I've never met anyone more tenacious than her. So I think when it comes to a hammers driver, she's got the calorie intake from the steaks and the tacos. She's got the conditioning from the CrossFit Monday through Friday, and the relaxed from the drinking of the beer. I think she's golden.
I love it. That's a good recipe right there. That's super good. No, actually, I mean, that's exactly what I was referring to, right? You got to have a balance, and I know people that are leading up to the race and doing all this crazy stuff. And it's like, and then there's people that just, okay, I'm going to go drive a car. But you gotta train. And that's awesome to hear that you're doing that and committed to that. So that's what I wanted to.
It is. It's so much more than just getting the car ready. You have to be ready to do your part in the car, and it's just wrapping your head around that. I mean, that is such a long race. And I remember, right after, in the summer, we were done racing NorCal, and everyone, like, you should race hammers. Are you going to race hammers? And my first instinct was like, God, no, I couldn't race that race. That's next level. I just got this car. I'm not capable of doing that. And then I started bargaining like, well, I guess I'd race it if I had a co-driver that could do this, and that. Like I had like this whole like checklist, like unreasonable checklist that would be the only way I would race this race. And then a week later, Derek comes home. He's like, so yeah, I got you a co-driver.
So who's the co-driver?
A buddy of ours, Chance, he owns a shop here called Cali Fabrication. And we've been wheeling with him for years. He actually got us into wheeling years ago. And when I kind of told Derek the list of like, well, I would only race, basically, I listed all these things and was like, so basically the only person that would fall in that category to me is Chance. And he said like, he doesn't want to race hammers. So I thought like that was my out, that I wasn't going to be held accountable and have to race this race. And then, yeah, he was in. So like a week later, Derek's like, yeah, he's in. I'm like, oh, okay. So then it was really on me.
It got real.
It got real. And I went through like, it was almost like the stages of grief for me. I'm like, oh, I can't do it. Can I do it? Is it, is this peer pressure? Do I want to do it? And I think once I started thinking like about, I could actually do this. Do I want to do this? Do I want to, prepare myself for this race and dedicate? Because I mean, good Lord, the dedication alone is
mm-hmm.
You think it's a long race. Well, the road to the race is even longer.
Mm-hmm.
But and it really just it was so many stages of just kind of wrapping my head around it. And I guess I'm lucky that I had so many people being supportive of me racing the race. I mean, you guys were supportive of me racing the race before I was really ready to commit to it.
No, we saw this coming, so this is great. I'd love it because I'd be highly disappointed if you weren't racing KOH 2023. So
right.
We are super ecstatic that you guys are gunning for this. X-Racer D-Mill here. This is going to be good with Kevin Jones helping you guys out, another X-Racer.
Yeah, you got a camp of X-Racers helping you out.
No.
It should be good. A whole camp
exactly.
Of us.
I mean, what better would it be?
Doing all the hashtag race prep.
All the race prep. All of it.
Yeah, all the race preps. There you go, Kevin. No, so this is great. I love it, but your mental game is like, whether you realize it or not, is like there. And I've seen you progress. Watching you race at Prairie City. I mean, because that's no joke. That Prairie City is freaking hard, short course racing. It rivals with the up there in Reno, that short course up there, the Wild West Motorsport Park. Exactly.
I wish I could have raced that before they shut it down.
I know.
Yeah.
As the one that has to fix the car, short course is absolutely brutal on the car. I would say one short course race puts as much damage as Hammers does to a car.
There's so much carnage.
Smokes the car. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. I feel so bad for the car.
Yeah, it gets used and abused in the 15-minute run or whatever, and it's ridiculous. But that's good because that preps you for Hammers for that long haul and that 8-9 hour car wreck that you're about to endure. So there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a whole different mental game though from short course because short course. Derek says I don't have any mechanical sympathy, and I think that's why I did so well in short course is because
mechanical sympathy.
Everything shuts down. They throw the flag, and it's just like I just want to be in front. I want to win. Like let's go. It's a race. So every lap I think, oh, this is it. I'm breaking the car, and it stays together, and then later Derek has to fix it. So. He says I don't have mechanical sympathy on that, but Hammers, it's a totally different race where you can't afford to race like that. From what I'm told, it's like you have to change your mentality and you almost have to throttle back a little bit because you're in it for the long haul. It's a marathon,
You got to make the car. You have to manage the car. You have to
It's
make the car
car
last.
preservation, right? So that's part of the key.
I may or may not put
from everybody. They're like,
I may or may not put a wood block under the gas pedal, so she just can't go wide.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
and then when she comes through the pits, I'll take it off.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It is. It's this fine line that driving the car, knowing the car. So you've got a lot of seat time in that Jeep so far, and it's just getting better and better every day here with all the Instagram posts that I'm seeing. But it's knowing how far that mechanical sympathy is a real thing, and we talk about it a lot here on the podcast. It's being in tune with it, knowing how far you can push it. I mean, even as a rec wheeler, we experience that, and it's like, okay, I know I've got XYZ axles or tires or whatever's going on with your vehicle. And the more time you're sitting in that right seat, or the driver's seat, I should say, when you're under a bind or a load, and it's like, okay, something's going to break right now if I push this. And, race situation, same thing. It's like, okay, we're running at max here, and we're either going to win this freaking thing or we're going to end up, checkers or wreckers, right? So that plays a lot into the KOH game, and that's what makes it fun and cool and exciting, and but that's just experience. It's like, okay, yeah, we're just going to pin it and go, or hey, we need to back off a little bit because I hear some noise in the back rear corner that's not right. But
we'll see if I can throttle back enough to get that car out of the desert.
So
the good news is when you're in the desert and you only have 3 inches over stock, so what is that, like a 98-inch wheelbase or something in the TJ? You can only go so fast. You're going to drive the car as fast as it will allow you to drive it, and that short wheelbase isn't going to allow a whole lot. I think we'll be okay.
Well,
I'm counting on the car to help me through.
Yeah. So your co-dog is the huge, mental coach, right? Is one of their number one goals for sure, is keeping the driver calm and collected and making good decisions for the race car, everything, right? So yeah, hopefully your co-dog's there. And then, so is Derek here going to be in your ears as well during this race? What kind of comms we got going here?
So we've got the same comms that she had for me when she was when she was crew chief, and I guess technically we have a team crew chief, and that's not me. And selfishly, at some point, I haven't relinquished that I'm not going to race yet. But more than likely, I'm not going to race. More than likely, I'm not going to race. Okay. Financially, my
it's
time
financial,
right. So business was slow. I don't have the money to spend. It's not right to spend it. Even if it picks up, my focus is giving her the best car she can have to keep this momentum that she kind of generated into Hammers, because I think that's huge. I think that's everything.
Sure.
So I'm trying to take everything that I've learned the hard way and give her the best chance and the best possibility and the best car she can have to run Hammers. And we've heard it from more than one person who has been in that car, who has been to Hammers, who knows the car, and is like, hey, listen, if you're willing to drive that car and not overdrive it and keep it together, that car is still a contender. As old as it is, that car can get it done. That car can get on the box. So
for sure,
that's the give and take of buying a proven car when you're a rookie driver, is like, you don't get to blame the car. You know what I mean? Like, the car has proven itself, unless I completely screw up as a fabricator and as a mechanic. I mean, ultimately that car is going to do its job. So all Megan has to do is get in that car, put her visor down, keep the thing together, keep on pace. She'll get a finish, maybe on the podium. Stock class is rough. We've got big money Broncos in there. I think we have a few less big money Broncos this year, but there's going to be more Broncos this year than ever. And I would really like to see, as much as I'm a Ford guy, I want to see this little red Jeep hopefully not red anymore, kind of beat the pants off some of these Broncos.
Oh, Lord.
No pressure. No pressure at all.
No, that's good.
No pressure.
So you're racing the 4600 class.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Yeah.
are you going to go through qualifying?
I just don't really, I'm not sure that it's worth going through qualifying in the 4600 class. We're already like in the back of the pack.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you'll probably get some mixed feelings on this, and I'm no expert, but my mentality is I'm not sure it's worth doing qualifying just to get through, a potential bottleneck somewhere, because I mean, it's all corrected time and there's going to be opportunity, and let people, destroy their own cars, like let them lose their own race. And I just need to keep the car together through the desert and then get into the rocks, and then we'll be more comfortable and get through it. So, I mean, that's the plan right now is just, I'm not really that worried about qualifying. I don't know if it's the right or wrong decision, but that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, that's a big decision. It's like, do I want to qualify and hopefully qualify well and move up in the 4600 class? But the other aspect is it's more time on the car and beating it up. And then it comes down to like pre-running too, is the other begs the question here. It's like, how much pre-running are you going to do in the car? Out on the course, or are you going to run, go beat up the Sequoia Beast or something out there? What are you guys what's the plan for pre-running?
I mean, that's pre-running is really the goal. We're going to get down there, the day before they release the map, and then spend that, week pre-running in the car, because I just, I didn't get to, we had to tear the car apart, so we didn't get down there for Thanksgiving. I don't know if we're going to make it down there before pre-running, like official pre-running happens for Hammers. So, if that's the case, then we really need to focus that whole week on me having seat time in the car, getting to know the car on that terrain. I haven't raced in the desert, so I need to get comfortable with what that feels like. I need to know where the limits are as a driver and as a car in the desert. And then, while I've done a lot of wheeling, I haven't wheeled in Johnson Valley. So I need to run through those rock trails and kind of understand the terrain out there. So really, honestly, to answer your question, I mean, that's really where my focus is. It's not so much qualifying. It's because there's already going to be 100 cars in front of me, no matter how I qualify.
Right.
I need to be comfortable in the car. I think that's more important than anything, is really focusing on my time in the car and becoming a better driver. I want to learn my lessons before race day.
Yeah.
Very well said. So,
I think when it comes to, I think our plan is I'm going to recruit another ex-racer, because I know they have all the safety gear. And I think I'm gonna shove that ex-racer with who maybe has some co-driver experience in my car, in the Sequoia, and we're gonna co-drive with them. Okay. So we're gonna co-drive with, we're gonna pre-run with them, them being Megan and Chance in the Jeep, and we're gonna make our own notes and our own course notes and try and give them the best information we can to help them get through stuff, because you have a new Hammers driver and someone who's never sat right seat ever before. And so there's going to be a huge learning curve. And it's like, kind of like when Megan first started driving the Jeep, we went out to Prairie City and we ran a couple laps on like a Tuesday or something. And I was like, hey, did you see this? Did you see that? And she goes, I didn't see anything that wasn't directly in front of me. And then after her second or third race, she starts going, oh, I saw this on the side. I saw that. I saw the fire extinguisher that fell off. And so as you get comfortable, your vision gets wider. And so right now we have a driver who's going to have a pretty wide vision, but a co-driver who's going to see nothing except the GPS. So that's where I think during pre-run, with Kevin and I, if nobody else caught on to that, Kevin and I will pre-run with them and kind of make course notes and kind of meld minds.
Kevin Jones.
That's right. Who's a king, dude. He is the absolute king at KOH prep. Yeah, right. No one's better than him.
KOH prep.
Right, loves
That's
it.
right.
So we're going to try and kind of function as a team, even if only one car is racing, and try and consolidate
Yeah.
all our information into the best possible scenario for Megan and Chance.
That's awesome. And I think that's a great approach because getting that seat time out in Johnson Valley, uncrowded, doing the trails and starting to learn the car and what it can do and what it can't do is absolutely huge, right? So that's good. And then, you get to closer to KOH a week and it's like, okay, we want to pre-run and do this stuff, but it's like, you don't want to beat up the car. I mean, you've got limited resources, right? Financially, you don't want to break anything. All this stuff, you don't have a dedicated pre-runner car to go out and beat the shit out of it. And it's like, okay, that car's done. Now I know this trail. I'm going to go in my race vehicle. So, I mean, you don't have that luxury. So
it's a risk.
I mean,
it's a risk.
Yeah, that's the reality of KOH.
Yeah.
4 extra transmissions, 4 extra axles, 4 extra engines.
Yeah.
I mean, we have spare parts for that car, but they're all in Texas. And so I'm not really sure how we're going to get those spare parts between now and Hammers. We're working on it.
But so if any listeners right now
coming out for California,
if any listeners right now are in Dallas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, that Metroplex, and you're heading to California, Northern California, you want to try and maybe move some parts for us, bring them up to us, shoot me a DM. I would love to talk to you and try and get this stuff moved so we know what we have.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And Chris just texted me off air that he would offer up his Jeep for pre-running. So just throw
that would be the most wheeling that thing sees in like a long time.
Well, you guys wheel, that thing wouldn't last 15 fucking minutes. So I'm gonna say that's a hard no.
You're right. If you let me drive it, it would stay together. If you let her drive it, she's going to break that axle in half.
Dude, I've seen you drive too. 10 minutes with you.
Hey, I didn't say I was going to race
Dana 35 front axle.
It'll be fine.
Fuck. Right.
Geez.
Yeah, it's
It'll be
okay,
fine.
Kevin Jones.
All right. No,
just send it.
It's good stuff. I love it. I mean, this is it, right? I mean, it's like all these different avenues to try and get to that, KOH start line. So
yeah,
you guys are definitely on track. I mean, you got a leg up, Megan, because you've been there, you've seen KOH, you know what you're getting into. There's no surprises, right? Other than you're sitting behind the wheel now for the actual race, which mentally is a whole nother, arena that you got to conquer. But other than the car being ready, the scenario, the racetrack, all that stuff, So, I mean, you've got a leg up as a quote unquote first time rookie here at KOH, which I'm excited about to see how you're going to do out there, and I hope you kick ass. This is going to be
Thank you. Yeah, I know I do have a leg up. I'm really lucky. I have all this support, and I mean, I'm really put in a really good position, honestly. So I won't have anything to blame but myself if we don't do well.
Oh, there it is. The crowd's excited. Yes. But so go ahead, Derek.
I was going to say, as we get closer to KOH and we get, everyone hates social media, or I guess everyone our age and older, you start to resent social media, and then you realize what it is. It's a marketing platform, and so these companies that support us, and you want support from, they see you as advertising, right? That's advertising dollars. They give you whatever, right? They give you parts. It's advertising money. And so as we get closer to KOH, ideally, if you're on that hustle and you're on that grind and you're trying to make relationships in the industry, that list gets longer. So honey, you're going to have to figure out a way to write some notes so that when you're on the stage and they're like, "Hey, who do you want to thank?" You can take off a hat and look at the bill and see who like your list,
Right.
'Cause you can't copy and paste it when you're on the stage. You're gonna have to,
Wheeling wine whiskey.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. It's on there. So you're gonna have to start figuring out where you're gonna write this down, like on your gloves, on your sleeve, like a quarterback, maybe. I don't know. You're gonna have to figure something out.
Right.
I appreciate
Right.
everyone's faith that I'm going to need an acceptance speech.
No, that's good. It's what you're
Yeah.
striving
Careful.
for, right? It's the goal, and
It
whatever happens on race day. And it's tough. I mean, I've seen it. It just so sucks, and that's why I continually to say on this podcast why I love KOH, but I would never race because a 10-cent part can take you out of this freaking race.
Right.
And you've prepared for a year, physically, mentally. You're going to the gym. You're doing all this stuff. You've got all these parts. You're calling sponsors, and they're like, no. And then you get one sponsor and goes, hell yeah, we'll support you. And it's just it's the game of KOH, right? And then to get out there and, like I say, to get to the point, to the starting line where the green flag drops and you hit that go pedal and take off. I mean, that's when the culmination of everything, right? That you've been working for. And then you're off, and whatever happens at that point for the next 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, whatever it is, to get back to Hammertown and go across that stage and go, hey, we finished, or we won, or whatever the outcome is. It's just so freaking cool to hear people leading up to this and everything they take, and then if the vehicle performs and everything holds together, and it's just like you can prepare. You see these top teams that money is absolutely no object, and you would think, oh, they're going to finish, top 3, 5, 10 all the time. No, this is hammers. It vets
taking out
out
that steering pump.
Exactly. It vets out
Or a
every
tie rod.
little thing. And, there's a lot of luck. There's a lot of skill. There's a lot of preparation. There's everything that goes into this. And, if the roulette wheel lands on a win and you end up number one on the podium, that was your day. So,
we had a conversation. We had a conversation today, actually, just a few hours ago. And it was, you have, some potential sponsors, just like you send an email and it's just ghost, right? There's nothing. Then others, you have a little back and forth and it doesn't pan out. And so after a while, because it's all about numbers, right? The more numbers you put up, the more requests you put out, the more likely you are to get support. And you have to just keep doing it. And then eventually you get one, right? You get a sponsor, you have a conversation with someone and it's positive. And then it's like this rush of endorphins and you're like, holy fuck, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And then you're like that last 3 months of getting kicked in the nether regions. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is amazing. This is how I do this. And then you're like, okay, I build my car and I race it and I break it and I build it again. There is something mentally unstable about those of us that want to race cars because there's nothing smart about it, right? Like it's,
Your brain damaged.
It's emotionally draining. It's financially draining, but you can't.
Why do we do
explain
this?
The feeling you get when you're like belted in, belts tight, visor down, and you see that green flag and like you're going and burning fuel. There's no way to explain that feeling, and it's a sickness. I will 100% tell you. And anyone that's trying to race hammers this year or want to, I guess what I would say is, for every time you get rejected, asking for help or looking for a sponsor or talking to somebody, don't let that like deter what you're doing, because you're going to get that one. If you're a good human and you communicate with people, you're going to get that one, and that one's going to lead to 2 or 3 or 4, because it's all about relationships. And like, don't let someone telling you no deter you from what you want to do in this stupid racing world that we're involved in. And I think that, and I don't know if that was specifically talked about in that rookie thing, but like some of the rookies are on it. There's one dude that like I'm not even sure his car is going to make it to the lake bed, but he's got like all the sponsors in the world when it comes to like all the little stuff, grinding wheels, cutoff wheels, stuff like that. And then you have other guys who seemingly are kind of doing it on their own, and it's just the gamut of like, what conversation you had with what guy at what company at what time, and don't let it deter you. Like just keep doing and push into what you want to do. And that passion and that tenacity will come out, and you will find the company that wants to support what you're doing. And that's my PSA.
So do what you love, the money will follow.
I mean, the money's never going to follow, but you'll at least have support.
I hope it does.
And that's
nobody's giving us money, but
no. The more I know.
The more you know, the after school special.
Right.
Yeah,
the more you know. Where's the sound effect, Chris?
Come on.
That's the other board. That's the other board.
Rizzo, get into the... Okay. Anyways, no, you hit a passion, and we talk about this on the podcast, and that's exactly what it is. You're not doing this to get rich. You're not doing this for the fame. You're doing this because you're passionate about racing and KOH and that whole... Getting wrapped up in that whole... minutia of KOH, which is, people that have never experienced it. I it's so funny. My group that I hang out with, and, there's obviously my hardcore off-road friends and stuff that know about KOH. And then there's people that know that I go to KOH and have heard about it because their friends have gone to KOH and stuff. And you try to explain it to them and you're like, you've never been to Johnson Valley? No. Oh. You have no freaking clue what goes on down there that week. And so anyways, my point is, I love the chase. I love the passion. I love that you guys are taking a program, husband and wife program, and Derek going, okay, honey, you're going to race. I'm going to stand back this year because, it is what it is. I mean, that's super cool. I love it. I love all these different stories that come out. And that's why we do this podcast, just to, vet out and tell these stories and get them out there. I mean, you guys are, the average American just, doing the day jobs and, okay, hey, let's go race KOH. Okay, well, no, I want to race KOH. And so here we are. And to follow that story is super fun. And I wish you guys the best of luck, and we're going to be there following you and handing you beers and whiskey and stuff and keeping you fed there at KOH 2023. So, yeah.
2023? Shit.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy to say that.
That's crazy. Wild.
Well, I mean when you think...
We always...
I was going to say, when you think about it, Hammers transcends. I mean, Hammers was the only off-road race that happened during those, like that time in history that we dare not speak about.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know what I mean? So it's like, what's one more year, 23, 24, 25?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
infant
in the world of off-road racing, but I don't see it
love
stopping.
it. No, it's gained so much traction, and it keeps getting better and better every year. And I love, how this rookie class is getting involved, and it's just fun. I mean, just some ridiculous vehicles coming on the lakebed to race.
Well, we're going to see EVs. I mean, more EVs this year. I mean, this is going to be awesome. I mean, between the rookie class, the new 4,400 cars are being built. The new 4,800 cars are being built. You got the EV
has Shannon Campbell even started on his 4,400 car?
He's going to build it.
I don't think so.
He's going to do it in 26 hours.
He's busy building the CJ.
Isn't that crazy? I love
CJ is amazing. That CJ is amazing, by the way.
Is he going to race that thing in like the stock class or something? Or is it just
that is whose car is that?
Whose car is that? Is that his car?
It's not
his car?
It's Caprara's car.
It is Caprara's car.
That's CJ Caprara Senior's car.
So I was wondering, I mean, it's badass, and I love the old school fabrication there, right? Like, he doesn't have a CNC anything. It's all just like, okay, eyeball, cardboard, let's trace something, let's use these guides that I have, blah, blah, blah. And it's just so fun to watch. But it's like, I'm sitting there watching this IG channel, and I'm like, okay, Shannon, start working on your freaking new car. You say you want to build it in under 35 days, but why do that? Let's just get this thing going, and then you got to test it. Anyways, that's a whole other subject. It's another aspect of hammers. But you guys are cranking it. So what do you have left? Or what's kind of the hanging things that you guys need to address on the car before it's quote unquote ready for King of the Hammers?
We essentially have the car pulled apart into its barest form. So there's currently nothing on the car.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Transmissions at the transmission builder getting gone through. T-case is sitting on the bench. Motor's sitting out on a stand. I'm going through the chassis and make sure there's no cracks. Making sure all the brackets are good. None of the holes are wobbled out. The biggest thing this year was our new rear axle. So we actually sourced a rough stuff fabricated 9-inch rear axle from another racer. And the axle's straight and in good use, but it was a good deal for the bare housing. I had to cut off a bunch of stuff and make it fit the Jeep. But yeah, so that's the big thing. Once that's in, we're about done with that. We'll get the transmission back, get the motor in. And yeah, I mean, it's really, we're 2 or 3 long days of work from basically reassembly. So, yeah, we're in a good position to get the car back together. Nothing super concerning was found in the chassis or in the brackets or anything like that would lead to problems. So yeah, I mean, there's always a list of things you want to upgrade or change on a car, and I think this year we're just I would love to gut all the electrical on this car and completely rewire it because it's kind of a nightmare. But for now, it's fine. It works. Everything turns on.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
So okay, so you're working on the car. I mean, are you going down to Johnson Valley prior to the race to test anything, or are you just going to wing it? I mean, you got Prairie City right there, which is a good testing ground. So what's going on there?
I think it's just all like the timeline is going to dictate what we have time to do, once the car's back together, because it's hard to plan that until everything is put back in the car. And then we know how much time we have left, whether we can take a run down there or we just, test it here. Because we definitely need to do some shock tuning and, it desperately needs that but you can't do that until the car's back together. And I'd like to get some more seat time in it. It's just that whole list of wants versus needs, and you just have to back yourself into it. You check priorities off the list, and then depending on how much time you have left, you tackle the rest of it.
Yeah.
But like Derek said, we've never been this ready before. We usually show up to the lakebed still working on a car. So this hopefully this is a whole new era, I'm hoping.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I think last year I built a skid plate 3 days before the race. I built the skid plate for the car in the garage. So the fact that we have a car that has all its parts now is pretty amazing.
Well, I remember going into your pits there, and the welders were flying and fabrication going. I mean, it was I mean, it's just part of the deal of KOH, but that's exciting to hear that you guys are so close.
Yeah.
So I think seat time's the key, Megan. Seat time's the key. Just getting, even more familiar with that car and how it reacts and how far you can push it and when you need to let off, right? That's it right there.
Yeah.
Everybody's done their job. I got to do my job.
Right. So one of the great lines of all the podcasts we've done is Bailey Cole. I love him. He goes, "I'm just a head pedal pusher." So I love that aspect of it. It's like, everybody's got the car ready or whatever, whoever's been involved with it, and obviously he's been involved with it, but it's like, I'm just a pedal pusher. I'm out there on race day making things, making the car perform as designed. And that's a lot lot to bear. That's a lot on the shoulders there, and all these people that have worked hard to get to that point. But it is what it is on race day. Whatever happens, happens. And I mean, you guys definitely have a leg up on the rookie program, your first race, and with a very qualified vehicle and great prep. So this is good.
Yeah, and all these
Hashtag
people in my
KOH prep.
corner. I mean, to have all these racers supporting me, that's a pretty big deal. So,
God, yeah. For
So
sure.
You got anybody you want to give shout outs to? Any sponsors or teammates?
Yeah,
or...
who's been helping you guys out?
Quick, honey,
journey?
pull up the list on your phone.
Oh, here it is.
I don't need to look at the list. I mean, I if I was going to give it a shout out, like there's obviously a lot of people behind the scenes but today I had a really great conversation. I don't know if you guys know Martin with Milestar. I think he's been with Milestar for a while, and he's just been so helpful to me. He could throw tires at a racer and be like, here, put a sticker on the car.
Yeah, right.
But he took the time out of his day. Like we spent an hour on the phone today, and he's like helping me walk through how to market my program and, connecting me with people in the industry. And I think that's just like, those are the kinds of relationships that like I want to build with people in the industry, and like have sponsors like that where it's like, where it's more community based. It's not just like, well, you just hop on the bandwagon of like the next person who's willing to give you something. Cause I don't really want it to be like that. I'm not really good at like selling our program. I'd rather build relationships and try and find a way to be mutually beneficial to each other. Like I'll go out and do my job and, hey, thanks for putting tires on the car. And like, he'll have my loyalty for life at this point, just cause like, I mean, he's just a good person. And, just to take the time out and connect me with some other people in the industry. And he's like, oh, don't worry about that. I know somebody, I can help you with that. Here's some pointers on how to, work this angle, and this is what you need to do. And I think that's huge. So, I mean, huge shout out to Milestar, really Martin in particular, because he really helped me with that. And then, I've been trying to up my Instagram game. I'm not very good at social media, but in talking to, people as we've been trying to have conversations with people, like reaching out, like, hey, are you interested in being part of this program? That's like, unfortunately, what they want to see. That's what they want from you, is like that marketing of their product. And it feels so awkward. I got to be honest, like, I don't know really how to sell something that's not like really who I am. So like I said, it's like building these relationships and being genuine, and then being able to just genuinely speak to it and be like, hey, these guys are really cool. Oh, and by the way, their tires are great too. I raced them all summer in short course. Like, honestly, that was one of the reasons I wanted to be a part of, keep Milestars on the car. Was I was so impressed. Everybody was blowing tires in those short course races, and I didn't have like a single issue. Those tires still have so much wear left on them. So like, that was kind of why I went after them, trying to find products we believe in that we would purchase anyways with our own money.
Key.
Yeah. Like that's, those
that
are the partnerships you want.
Key.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you need to be passionate about the product and know that it's performed or whatever, in the racing aspect.
Yeah.
It's you don't want to be fake. You don't want to be like, oh yeah, this is like the greatest product ever, and you go out on the race course and it's like it failed, or you're banging on it, or you're rewiring it, or whatever it is. That's hard to endorse. But when you have a product that you can stand behind and go, no, this freaking works, and it works for me. That's
who
cool.
doesn't want to partner with the people that like I want to have a beer with around the campfire.
Yeah,
right. Like
exactly.
Like that's the person that like I want to partner with. I want your parts. I want to do business with you because like I don't have to pretend to be nice to you. Like I legitimately want to have a beer and a whiskey with you around the campfire. Like that's the company you want to do business with.
No, you're absolutely right. That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, we've gotten so much support from other people. Like, they don't sponsor us, but like they've, said good things about us. I mean, you guys have, talked about us on here, and then like, Ali is like, recommended people to us and recommended, me to other people, like say, hey, you should, check this girl out. You should sponsor her. Like that stuff is like, I don't know, it's huge, and it is. It's like, it's that community. And when you talk about like, you have to be genuine about the product, but, if you're serious about your race program, you don't want a product on your car that's going to cost you a race anyways. So like I said, you don't want to partner with people that you wouldn't spend your money on anyhow. Because
Nope.
I mean, you can't afford to sacrifice it for, people aren't like giving us money. People aren't giving racers money in most instances. We're having sponsors that are maybe throwing discounts or throwing parts at a car, and it's got to be, it's got to be mutually beneficial. So we're learning that game. It's an interesting aspect of racing that I don't think, you really think about until you get in it. And then
Sure.
You have to get good at marketing yourself.
So part of marketing is IG. So what's your IG handle?
Mine is Megan It Count is mine. And then we just,
Megan It underscore count.
That's right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, she's new to this. Honey, you got to spell it out because not everyone spells Megan the same. You got to spell it out.
MEGANIT _COUNT. Making it count, right?
Making it count.
Yep. And then you got your husband, DMill _ with a welder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't claim to be good with it. I just have one.
And then we started yours blew up like kind of a little bit the first year you raced cameras.
It's because I raced a Toyota.
You got a bit of an audience.
Yeah. Like, who the hell's in this Toyota Sequoia?
Like, if you were going to pick a vehicle,
one of the heaviest race trucks out there.
Yeah, if you're going to pick a vehicle that does not belong there at all, that's the one.
Yeah. But then you got the little LS with the Wuhan
war whistle.
That's pretty good. So, anyways, that's going to be in the desert, right? Even if we're pre-running or something.
Oh no, it'll be there.
Give Chris a ride.
Is Chris going to be there? I want to ride. You know what, Chris is
going to be there.
Chris,
here we go.
Chris can drive the Sequoia. If I can drive his YJ.
Wait. Oh shit! Here we go. I love this.
If he's willing to let me drive his YJ on the same trail he's driving my Sequoia on, he can drive my Sequoia.
You know how rare clean YJs are nowadays.
I've never seen one. Apparently, yours never leaves the garage.
I like this. I want to see this happen.
My YJ was on the lakebed last year.
It was.
Last
You're right.
year.
So
I want to see this
all
happen.
you guys.
Oh, come on now.
Listen, I'm offering a legit trade, Chris. You can drive the Sequoia if I can drive the YJ.
Yeah. That's a super legit trade.
I don't know.
I don't know. Hey, Chris, we'll secretly pull a couple spark plug wires. So
Chris, you don't even have to put your credit card on the dash
for Derek.
Oh,
no credit card on the dash. Just I'll show you how to belt it in, and you're good.
So good. So good.
Hey, Chris, I bet you're the only one whose car has insurance.
You also are the only one with insurance on your car, I'm sure.
Oh, what?
Oh, jeez.
It's not fully insured anymore, but
All right. So
anyway,
KOH 2023. We got a lot. This is going to be great. I cannot wait. There's so many stories that we're following. We love your enthusiasm and passion with you guys, and wish you the best of luck. Freaking awesome. This is going to be fun to follow up with you guys on the lakebed. Anything else you guys got to throw out there before we wrap this episode up?
We do. If you're buying your early bird tickets for King of the Hammers, please choose Megan Miller as your preferred driver, car 3105. Every time someone does that when they're buying their tickets, we get a little bit of a kickback. They're running the T-shirt promotion, but I believe
you get $10.
We do get $10 on the T-shirt promotion that expired.
Yeah.
So that one I would like to have seen run a little longer, but it's fine. But yeah, if you could choose Megan,
Yeah,
Megan
I
Miller,
know. They were trying to
3105
get
as your
them out
driver,
before Christmas.
yeah, that'd be huge because every little bit helps. And like, yeah, it's only $10, and at the end of the day,
Absolutely.
it costs the person buying their ticket to Hammers. It costs them nothing. And all it does is give us money. So it's really easy to choose like big names in that. Like, this is my favorite driver.
Every little
but like,
bit helps.
that dude's got budget. We don't. Send that money our way.
Right. Right. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, like some people choose Pellegrino. It's like, okay.
Hey,
no,
he's winning right now.
I want Amber. I want Megan. I want,
If you look at this, so there's a leaderboard on the website, and right now I think
and
Pellegrino
he's at the top.
Has, by like a lot.
I know.
Yeah.
But why?
Yeah.
They don't need the money.
He's well funded already.
Let's give it to the underdogs here.
That's what I'm saying.
Anyways, no, that's a good point. So those of you out there that haven't got your KOH ticket, one of 80,000.
That's right. You get a plaque too.
Yeah, you get a little plaque. I saw one last night. Code Nelson had one there. So Code had
what number? Did he have 518? I know Kevin's looking
super
for
cool. So no, it was like I know it was up in the thousands. It was like 1,300 or something.
That's wild.
Yeah, so it is wild. And but no, do that drop down menu. Pick your favorite driver. Pick Megan Miller, 3105, I should say. And then it doesn't cost you any extra, and that's an extra $10 towards you.
And those tickets are on early bird special until the end of December, I think.
Right?
I think January 1st, the ticket price goes up January 1st. So people know they're going. Get on that early bird pricing, because then you save money.
Yep.
Right.
For sure.
Yep.
So, guys, thank you so much. This has been fun. It's always been, you guys are friends of the podcast here, following Derek. And then I'm so glad Megan jumped into it because it's so much better than Derek. So we love it.
Oh, hell yeah.
We want to see you succeed at KOH. And this is great. Telling this story. And, it's a real thing. I mean, you guys are
see
living...
Megan doing the happy dance, collecting her check at King of the Hammers. Like
exactly.
I'm afraid to even dream it some days. I don't want to. Yeah. I mean, it's the dream, but I try not to get ahead of myself. I want to stay humble, and I don't know. I just thanks for having us on and all your support, guys. I can't even tell you how much I appreciate it. Everybody who's been supportive, it's unreal. So thank you.
No,
you're very welcome.
This is great. Absolutely. This is what we're all about. We live, breathe, eat, die, KOH, and it's so fun to follow these stories. So,
right.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Well, all right. Best of luck. If you already got X-Racer D-Mill with a welder and Kevin Jones helping you out. So you got a great support team, Megan.
I do. I'm so lucky.
Us, that will supply you with whiskey after the race or whatever. We'll be cheering you on. But no, this is awesome. I'm so excited. We've interviewed a lot of people, and I just feel like you're in a great mental spot right now, and just like you're going to kill it. So we're looking forward to talking to you on the lakebed and just
thank you.
Sweet.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
All right.
Right on.
All right,
okay,
guys.
so
thank you so much.
let's put a bow on this, Jason. What do you say?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay, so if you want to get a hold of Jason or Chris, you can reach Jason or Chris by email at jasonorchris@wheelingwinewhiskey.com. Don't forget about our Instagram. We got Megan's and Derek's Instagrams earlier, but Wheeling Wine, it's at Wheeling Wine Whiskey for our IG. And then, of course, the super cool thing about us is you can call in and leave a voicemail. It'll get played on the show like it was earlier in this episode. That number is 408-800-5169. Right, Jason?
408-5 510-8169.
Jesus, 408-800-5169.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
You both
Dyslexia
said
boy
two
over
different
there.
numbers.
You did.
Just to throw that out. Like each one of you said a different number and agreed that it was the same number.
As long as you dial 408, you'll get there, I guess. I don't
Yeah,
know.
408. Just dial 408. Lorenzo would take care of the rest.
That's right. That's right. So, also, don't forget to if you want to leave a review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review and drop Jason a DM on the Instagram, and we'd be happy to send you a sticker. And I don't know.
Unless you have a bunch
else?
of Z's in your name.
What's that?
Jeez.
I said, unless you have all the Z's in your name, then maybe you don't get a sticker. That's like Toyota stuff.
That's right.
Oh, it's
the Z.
Toyota stuff. Yeah.
That's
all the
right.
Z's.
No Toyotas. What does Don say all the time? Hashtag Toyotas suck.
Toyotas suck.
But that's coming from a Land Rover guy. So
That's true. That's true. It's true. It's true. All right, Jason, you got anything else?
Here we are at the end of the year. What are we, 190 episodes? Something like that? We're coming up on 200. I just want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. This is going to be our episode right before Christmas. Our next episode will be after Christmas, so I hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas and enjoy time with friends and family.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas, Jason.
Merry Christmas, Chris. And Lorenzo. Lorenzo's over here like with his little... He's got Christmas lights and a little Santa hat on.
Does he have a beard too?
He's super... beer? Or
beard.
Oh, beard? No, he doesn't have a Santa beard
little
on.
Santa outfit?
No, that interferes with the bourbon. So he's... no, he just got a little Santa hat on. He's super happy. He likes this time of the year.
Well, yeah. He keeps the lights going, right? So
something like
anyway,
that.
All right. Well, there you go. Merry Christmas, everybody, from Wheeling Wine and Whiskey to you.
Absolutely. Thank everybody for their support for this year of the podcast, and many people have supported over the years. So it's been a wonderful ride. We're going to continue producing content, whether you like it or not. So there you go.
Absolutely. So, yeah, anything else?
That's it. I think we're
out.